either the sword, the hammer, or the fire rod, because those open up the most and are the least bad to use. I am not hoping to see 10 bombs.
No, I personally like seeing the bow, just because it opens up so many different options at that point in time, and our runners are off.
Alright, gonna check out Link's house, just a piece of art. As we head into the escape, we're going to get the answer to our uncle question. It is the Cane of Samaria. That is not necessarily a great item early on, but it will help later.
It's one less thing that they're going to have to worry about, but yeah, I think the bow or the hammer earlier on would help them. It will be interesting to see what we have, but we also have the power glove. So with the Cane of Samaria, it's not as magic draining as, say, the staff or the Cane of Burna. So maybe a little bit more liberal use of that than other magic items that they'd be able to use, but they still have to watch out for their magic usage here.
They're killing random guards. They're trying to get a bomb to drop so they can get into that back room of the escape.
Still no bombs. That could be a little bit difficult as the game continues to go on here. And 50 rupees from the other treasure chest here.
Well, at least make it not so difficult to get the bottle vendor item. Or buy bombs and the bottle vendor item if you have to.
Tranq doing what he can to kill some of the guards, but killing them by knocking them off the ledge won't really get us an item, unfortunately.
Another piece of heart.
Speaking of pieces of heart, I want to draw some attention to Tranq's heart pieces. Oh, and he gets a bomb! Lucky drop there for Tranq.
Big drop.
Anyway, it is worth noting that Tranq's hearts are yellow, and if you look over at Makinx, his hearts are red. That was an adjustment that the developers made in this version 29 specifically. There was some concern that people with certain color blindness issues weren't able to see the hearts as clearly, depending on what color they were. So one of the options that you can do when creating the game at this point in time is changing your heart color in order to add some accessibility issues there. Tranq showing that off with his yellow hearts.
Good magic refill. I was about to say Tranq might need to be a little careful about his magic, but that refill makes it a little bit easier. The only problem right now are those sneaky snakes in the basement. That's not super pleasant to use the Cane of Samaria on.
Not really. I mean, you can kind of just wait for the sneaks to keep running into that block as much as you can. Makinx is probably a little bit more concerned about it. Tranq has his bomb. I think he'll finish up and not really worry about farming anything else up. Makinx, we may see spend a little bit extra time at this point.
Still no luck.
And keep in mind, everyone, this is not a standard no major glitches mode. where just because it looks like Makinx is a little bit ahead right now doesn't mean he's actually ahead. Tranq will be able to route things a little bit more efficiently, and because we don't know where everything is, that extra time Tranq spent farming that bomb will certainly help him out as we're going through this. So it's not always what it seemed.
Makinx gets a bomb.
Okay, so there we go. He has his bomb.
And Makinx gets over 100 rupees. He will be able to go to the bottle vendor. Check that item. Great job on the rats by Makinx.
Yeah, that rat can sometimes troll runners if it's often interesting way. The cane is also not the easiest weapon to kill rats with, which is unusual.
And unfortunately, not much going on in the back of Escape.
Not at all, unfortunately. He did pick up the map, which will indicate that there is something in the Sanctuary location. Keep in mind, Sanctuary is part of the escape process, so if you do not find the map at any other point in time, it will absolutely be available in the Sanctuary, so you might be able to save a couple seconds.
Take 50 rupees, you'll be able to now buy bombs and then go to the bottle vendor.
That was actually really handy. I imagine we'll see one of these runners go and buy bombs. We may see an early risk possibly into Blind's basement to see if he gets bombs from one of the treasure chests, just to save a little bit of time, but that can be risky because it will waste time later if you don't get it.
I don't think it's super worth doing that. I think that is the odds of it being not there are much higher, and the odds of you having to double dip into that are much worse. And now you have a lot of money.
Yeah, the dump crab, as we call it, throwing 20 rupees every time you pick them up, that'll be very valuable, and these runners will not have to worry about money for the rest of this run with that knowledge.
All right, on the Lumberjack Ledge is all of a 5-bomb capacity upgrade. So won't need to do Aghanim for that, at least.
I mean, nope, not at all. I was trying to hype it up, and no, I can't even pretend to hype it up.
Yeah, save that joke for the postal.
I will totally reuse jokes in the same stream. What are you talking about?
Oh, and a bottle, so we're gonna be able to check out the bottle vendor, the sick kid who likes to look at bottles.
Yeah, that is really nice from an early routing perspective. You can kind of forget sick kid every now and then, and 300 rupees in the thieves' hideout. I hope they don't mind us taking their entire stash.
So we do not need any more money for this entire run. That is all the money you'll need. Was that a good bee, or was that a normal bee?
I'm not entirely sure. I didn't get to see the pause menu to see if there's a plus sign or not. And Makinx, what a lucky pull, does pull one bomb.
We'll be able to do Blind's Hut. Now, pretty safely, no, it is not. The important part of getting a good bee early is that you can get a free, what is it, 100 rupees?
Yeah,
from
300
the
rupees.
vendor.
Absolutely. Which would pay for it. I don't know if that's going to be a good bee or not.
It's not.
We shall see.
Oh, some hearts here. And an abolished medallion, and the red boomerang. Meanwhile, Tranq taking a slightly different route in Kakariko Village. And the sword in the back of Blind's hut.
Blind's basement having quite a few items. Tranq trying to route down, get a few items as he's walking down there, but does have to buy bombs. We'll see if Makinx makes the same play. He's hoping to find a bomb before he has to route down. So Tranq, I think, will be routing this a little bit more efficiently just because he can do it all in one swoop. But
And
what?
the bomb vendor is a boots vendor. And Makinx is going to take a short lead. He's going to be able to dash up and down to get his bombs.
Sick kid with just a little bit of love for you. So we've just about covered the entire Kakariko area. Tranq is going to be the first one over here into the basement, or into the well, rather, and another bottle.
The fairy inside, it's always helpful too. And the hammer.
We are only a moon pearl away from Dark World access, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a pretty fast seed.
Oh, there's bombs.
That's a little bit of a gut punch, but I think at this point they're not worried about wasting 50 rupees on that.
Tranq will get his sword, and Makinx will get his hammer.
So Ridley, where do these runners go from here? I mean, hammer, power gloves, boots, mushroom. We kind of have the possibility of some route divergence. Would you stick to the standard script going south or go elsewhere?
Yeah, just the chest density and the fact that you don't actually have that much open by just having the hammer in the light world. You're going to want to get those 6 chests in Moldorm Cave and then the 2 chests in the dam. You don't have the lamp, so you can't be thinking that your progression is going to be in. Oh no, we're going to see a fake powder first.
Yeah, this is an interesting glitch. If you spend all of your magic and then use the Cane of Samaria, and while it's giving you the error sound, you switch menu over to the mushroom and then use it, you will be able to glitch out the game to go ahead and use this. This could be an interesting sequence break here for Makinx. Glad he's thinking about this before the mushroom turn-in.
Tranq, meanwhile, trying to just head straight to the race game to check the borders. We're set a piece of heart. And it's the Ether Medallion.
I would call that a worthwhile check there. Glad he went ahead and did that. Makinx having some issues getting this glitch to go off.
There we go. Guy hit it right on the frame. Just a piece of heart.
But it's not bad. It gives him another heart refill. We're not doing bad. 7 hearts at this point for Makinx. Sub 15 minutes. He's found quite a few full heart containers.
Tranq, meanwhile, doing that southern strategy. Heading down to the dam, finding more bombs.
And Makinx is going to check this. It'll be interesting to see if he goes ahead and picks it up, or if he... Yep.
I can't imagine you wouldn't. Like if you that's a free zone. That's highly likely to be on one of the dungeons.
2 pendants already, or 2 medallions already gotten, so that's interesting to see that. I hope that doesn't point to like an early Misery Mire or anything like that.
One of the mini Moldorms is stuck in the wall. I get some anyway. The mini Moldorm play was a very good play. Flute, half magic, gold gloves. 20 rupees, flippers.
Okay.
Wow.
That's quite a bit of hype located in one cave. Okay. So everything is unlocked for us now.
Just need the Moon Pearl for Dark World access, but yeah. And you want the lamp.
Yeah, lamp would be nice at this point in time, although we do have access. I guess we still don't have full access to the to Death Mountain quite yet without either the mirror or the hook shot. But man, that was a hype cave right there.
No, that's the real hype cave. So that means the cave called the hype cave is going to have what? The single arrow, the single rupee, and then two of the red rupees.
You know, people make fun of it, but in last night's race that I was commenting on, it had the hammer, the bow, and the mirror all in the hype cave. It was unusually good as well. So
Tranq going straight to King's Tomb. This is a great play. Whenever you can get to it, what seems like a late zone. That's the move for like.
Oh, what?
Great play. It always seems to work out whenever you can go to what is usually a later zone real early. There's something there.
And Tranq absolutely just read this seed like crazy. He's going to unlock the flute. Might as well check King's Tomb in the meanwhile. And Bonkrux pulls the Moon Pearl. That's our Dark World access right now.
Trying to think, we haven't even gotten a map check yet.
I mean, why would you want a map check right now? But it's crazy. This has been so much value so early. We're only at 16 minutes here.
But even with all of that value, you don't have access to complete any dungeon outside of maybe Thieves Town.
This is true. Can't really get anywhere else. And logically, yeah, there's at least one item that we're missing. So still plenty of action to go.
Makinx makes Tomb play as well, and will get his Moon Pearl. Trying to unlock the duck.
So with everything that we just unlocked, where would you go, Ridley?
I'd check my map first, and then I would head to the Dark World and check the map there. And that's exactly what he's doing. Only DP has a crystal. The other two have the non-major pendants. And then I would head straight into Dark World.
Yeah, it looks like Tranq's heading over. It looks like he's doing an Eastern dive?
He's going to do an Eastern dive. No. He's going to do the Zora stuff. That's not a bad play.
Yeah, no, that's a very solid play. I mean, there were a lot of different plays you can make there. So being able to check that island item, checking Hobo, and then being able to go up, he'll be able to check not only the Zora ledge and the waterfall ferry, but also has enough rupees for Zora himself. So quite a lot of value Tranq's going to get out of here. Let's see if it pays off.
I think Makinx might be doing the same thing. No, he is not. He's going to go dive straight into the Swamp of Sorrows.
Oh, Misery Mire area. He'll have the Mire Shed, and can't quite get the checkerboard, but we do get our dark map check.
No lamps, so Mire can't be in logic at least. Also, you do not want to dip into Mire at this moment. You will get your butt beat.
Yeah, Green Mail. It was healthy a second ago, but not quite healthy right at the moment. Shovel. Tranq not finding anything in the waterfall ferry so far.
Swamp Palace is our green pendant, and 5 is Turtle Rock, 6 is Palace of Darkness, so the hope is that there's no progression on the pyramid, because that would be a nightmare. Makinx is going to make an Eastern dive.
Well, we have the 3 chests in the back of Sahasrara, so that's definitely a worthwhile check. We'll see if Tranq finds anything here at Zora.
I'm wondering if they're not super comfortable doing Thieves Town with this low percent. Or I wonder if they're hoping that they get the fire rod so they can do both woods and town.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't blame either of these runners for just being a little bit overwhelmed with everything. I mean, that mini Moldorm cave just unlocked. I mean, the flippers you have the gold gloves. We do see Tranq on his way over here to the original Hype Cave. We'll see if he finds anything else. I mean, I don't know what else you could possibly find.
There's a couple things. But I predict this is going to be the Cave of Mediocrity. Up, there's bombs.
More bombs, and we haven't gotten a bomb upgrade yet, so that's more waste.
Nope, that's just Al Capone's secret vault there. It's where he hid all the money.
I'm gonna say it's the Jerry Maguire cave. Show me the money! I think I'm the only one old enough to get that reference. I'm sorry, guys.
Alright, Tranq can go do the a small bit of the reverse world tour. Where he starts from Hype Cave and goes up to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, and he'll be able to kind of route in the the digging game and then be able to pick up Jeremiah if he so desires. I don't know if he will or not because that will prevent him from going into the dungeon, but we'll see what he ends up doing once he gets to the Village of Outcasts.
No mirror quite yet. Kind of a slow digging game this time.
Certainly is taking quite a bit. Almost full digs and another 300 rupees.
Al Capone's buried gold. I just watched The Untouchables. Bear with me.
I was like, we're lots of Al Capone references here.
I think it's Village of Outcasts.
Village of Outcasts, another really pretty dense chest location. I'm surprised they didn't come here a little bit sooner, but I mean, we're still at 22 minutes, so hard to complain.
No, and I'm a little surprised because you could save the Zora area for when you have a mirror and route catfishing.
All right, chess game. Nope, just a 20.
Swindled you that time.
You know, that race doesn't swindle you a ton of times, though. Usually you make some rupees back, at least I've found.
Yeah, Ice Palace is open as well, but boy, this is a bad time to go fight Cold Stare.
I mean, I'm uncomfortable going in there with Fighter Sword in any capacity. If I have the hook shot, I might be a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, those pin gators hurt. I would probably try to avoid Ice Palace if I had other options as well.
Alright, Tranq in the Thieves Town. Just got his big key.
Alright, so Tranq working his way through here, Thieves Town. Makinx is kind of right behind him. He's in that south Village of Outcasts area right now.
Seems like he's about half a dungeon behind.
Well, keep in mind, Makinx actually went over to Eastern into the Sahasrara hut, so Tranq will eventually have to make his way over there. There's too many items there, unless he gets really lucky and just everything falls in line. But
Well,
I suspect Tranq will head there eventually.
he will head there. It's just he might head there while routing the pod. Just a bow away from being able to do that. And a mirror, I suppose.
Yeah, 2 items. Still, it's worthwhile to hang on to. I tend to agree with you, though. I try to save those areas myself. If I have this many item areas open to me, go ahead and save that.
Tranq does have a fairy, but his hearts are down to 2 already. This dungeon is not super kind if you're taking a ton of hits of green mail. And Makinx is going to go check out the hammer pegs.
Not necessarily a bad play, although, again, a lot of people wait until they have Jeremiah here. We'll see what the play is.
Well, hoping for something to help you out in the dungeon. Blue sword, blue mail.
Right now, blue would really help everyone out at this point, except for blue bombs. We seem to be getting an abundance of those now.
Down goes Tranq, but he does have a fairy.
And it looks like Makinx is on his way right behind Tranq in Thieves Town.
But a half dungeon difference right now. Take.
It's interesting, as open as this seed has been, we haven't really had a ton of route divergence up to this point in time, have we?
No, and it's been kind of leading you towards certain zones. Like, neither of them are going to want to scale Death Mountain until they can get to Eastern. Which would require a mirror or hook shot.
We'll see. I believe our last item is going to be on blind, so we'll see if that ends up rewarding us, giving us another breadcrumb, or if we have to find it elsewhere.
Here's the problem. Tranq has no fairies and is about to fight blind for green mail. Sword doesn't matter in blind. Blind takes 3 sets of 3 hits no matter what. The only boss or enemy in the game that works like that. But getting hit by the heads or the body or the lasers takes 2 hearts in green mail. But a really well done fight by Tranq.
Yep, it is very clean, and just Fisher Price, my first shield, available from blind.
That's just the paper plate. Alright, so now what? Do you head up to Skull Woods and check the chest there? I think Tranq is doing that.
I mean, it's a logical check, and you can kind of get around things at this point in time. You know you can't clear it out, but there's only 2 items in the entirety of Skullwood. So if you can get 1 or 2 items early out of it and dip out, then you know you can clear it out at the come back once you have the fire rod. Tranq doing a good job dodging those Gibdos in blue mail. Oh, he's got to be happy to see it.
Alright, no key, which means he had to go to the Gibdos room. Or the pinball room, I should say.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting room in and of itself. That is one of the only treasure chests that, by logic, will always have a small key in it to prevent any sort of soft locks.
And that is the second item, so Tranq is done with Skull Woods for now. I need to check the back chest.
Yep, counting items definitely save some time there for Tranq. We'll see. He's going to go check these northern areas, Bumper Cave, etc.
All he can do is check Bumper Cave right now.
All right, and just 50.
But I think he's gonna head. Nope, he's gonna save and quit. I was wondering if he's gonna head east and jump over to Catfish. No lamp either, so a lot of dark rooms not in logic quite yet. Tranq is going to dive into Eastern now. So there's our extra time.
Well, and the interesting thing is, Makinx went over here just to check the back of Sahasrara, and then he dipped out. He never went into Eastern Palace proper. So if Tranq does this, it'll be a little bit more efficient routing, unless he doesn't find anything, which is entirely possible.
Well, you know there's not much in behind the back of Shrashala's hut. I can't ever say his name.
I think everyone has a little bit of trouble, which is why everyone has made something up. Sahasrara, Shamalama Ding Dong, Sriracha Sauce.
Salad shooter.
It starts with an S and has at least 4 syllables. You're good.
It's my favorite one, is salad shooter.
You know, that early Bombos is, at this point, oh, Makinx, that's a rough spot to dive into right there.
Yeah, pinball room.
The way this seed has played out up to this point in time, I'm starting to worry that our next progression might be an Ice Palace, just because we have the flippers, the gold mitts, a sword, and Bombo, so we can get through. Can't complete it by logic, and it would be super scary to do it, but logically it's possible, and that's what I'm worried about right now.
Logically, you can dive into a lot of dungeons right now and get items.
Tranq finding our first item in Eastern Palace. Again, more bombs.
I thought that was a standard Link sprite on the left, but apparently I'm not right about that.
It did look like a standard Link sprite, and now he has blue mail and it's yellow. Yeah, I'm confused.
Oh, we're gonna get a mushroom turn in. Almost forgot about that.
This might be interesting. If it actually has our progression, I would be kicking myself if I were Tranq, but even Makinx, I think, would feel like he was behind if this is it.
Or Bob Fairy, and then Tranq is going to go to the dark room, but that's definitely not going to have his progression. Of note, they both have a not both, I think Makinx has a shovel.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where he got that shovel, and Tranq didn't.
Makinx is going to check it.
Alright, Tranq is getting ready to check this last treasure chest, and it's just the compass.
Shovel was in Mire shed, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense. Yep.
And it's just a piece of heart. He's going to climb the mountain. He's going to do the Grandpa Dark.
Grandpa Dark is one of the easier dark rooms, if you know, especially when you can follow the sword sparkle. Makes it a little bit easier to keep track of your sprite. Tranq also heading up that
Go
direction.
the other way.
So this is kind of a risky play. Old man just having a piece of heart, so that's good. No progression logic broken per se. We only have really one item that we can get at this point in time up here. We're hoping it's something, but it may very well not be anything.
No, but it's actually, unbeknownst to our runners, it's less risky because they're both doing it. So it's not going to give a lead to one person or another. Nothing. Oh, he's going to check the spy cave.
Oh, that's interesting. Has the hammer? Yeah.
This is not in logic at this point. You would need to have the Cane of Burna or the Magic Cape for it to be in logic, I believe.
Yeah, I think so as well. This is definitely a risk by Makinx. We'll see if anything's here. Tranq, in the meanwhile, is going to be going over to this Mire shed area. Didn't find anything other than the shovel. Oh.
And the Screw You Rupee.
That was totally worth your fairy in the bottle, wasn't it?
No bug in it either.
Both players definitely running out of options at this point in time. Really, Ice and Mire dips. Maybe even a Palace of Darkness dip, although...
Makinx is going to... Yeah, he's going to dip Pod. No lamp, no bow. This could be a quick trip.
Yep, if this first treasure chest in Pod does not have a key, he's going to have to back out almost immediately. Tranq turning in his mushroom is going to be somewhat disappointed. Tranq stocking up on a couple of blue potions as well. Makinx wanted to keep one fairy, so Tranq has 2 blue potions, Makinx with 1.
Tranq burned his fairy in normal use on Thieves Town.
Yep. What?
Hook shot!
What?
Oh boy, this seed. That's going to give Makinx a pretty big lead. Unless Tranq finds something crazy in Ice Palace, he's going in. Some major route divergence.
I mean, that is significant. They both kind of reached to this bottleneck point, and it feels like Makinx made the right play there. Pod is absolutely bow locked, so he won't be able to go in until he has a bow, but I think he's okay with having the hook shot at this point.
Oh, does not want to go to the dark world yet. No mirror. It's a one-way trip.
But he'll see you next fall.
So let's let that hang there for a bit.
Yeah, I know. Horrible, horrible joke. Tranq is now discovering why it's so horrible to go into Ice Palace without being able to deal with these Pengators. Biter Sword, he's going to go ahead and just burn a Bombos on him.
Bunch of magic refills in this dungeon. Oh, the blue sword.
Lightsaber goes beer.
All things considered, not a ton in the Paradox Cave.
I mean, Master Sword over Fighter Sword is certainly nice at this point in time, at the very minimum. Plus, he'll have access to, with that hookshot, he'll have access to Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave at this point.
Wondering, if you get the fire rod, do you dare dip into Turtle Rock with Blue Mail and Master Sword?
I think there's too much else out there right now for me to be comfortable dipping T-Rock this early. Myself?
But you get fire and ice rod.
That makes it more difficult.
So you can now do the whole dungeon.
You know, I might, just because this seed could absolutely troll you to the point. Oh, what?
The ice rod! Alright, that's step 1.
Oh my goodness gracious. Tranq having a little bit of difficulty with that Ice Palace bomb jump. A lot of people use a few different things to set up that bomb jump. Sometimes some people use the shadow, some people use your sword width and the pixels between it. The problem is that if you have Fighter Sword, it's not as wide as, say, the Mastered or Tempered Sword, so you have to adjust what pixel you're looking at.
Really, the safest way to do it is learn it by basing it on your feet, not on the sword. That's the way I do it, at least. Well, trick 1 is this can't be Quake. It's not, it's Bombos.
So he could absolutely dip it if he really, really wanted to.
But a fire rod is probably not going to be super recommended. Oh, no such luck. And he's going to back out.
Yeah, maybe go over to Tower of Hera and check those treasure chests, but it is a pendant dungeon, so you don't necessarily have to at that point in time. If there's something in Tower of Hera, though, that might waste some more time.
That was kind of a bust.
A little bit of a bust. I would still much rather be going into Ice Palace with Master Sword over Fighter Sword, though, which Tranq is doing. And so far, we're not finding a whole heck of a lot here in Ice Palace as well, unfortunately. And the nice thing about Makinx, in addition to having Master Sword, he's going to be able to get through pretty much everything faster. Master Sword and Hookshot. Pengators are particularly susceptible to that Hookshot, taking just one hit from it.
Tranq, a little lost in Ice Palace. Can't go that way.
Now, this is one of those situations where you kind of have to drop down, unfortunately, and make your way across the long way. There are so many keys in Ice Palace. It's just the logic in this dungeon alone is just silly.
This is one of those dungeons where it's fantastic to go into to dip into early game key sanity.
Oh, absolutely. And I think everyone hates key sanity for, well, that's one reason.
This and Mire. Mire has like 15 key chests or something like that. Maybe a little less than 15.
All right, so Tranq is getting ready to, he's cracking open this cold stare, cold one, and is getting ready to do hammer cold stare.
This is more than a little brutal.
Hammer has that really weird hitbox when you're trying to hit something from below it, and
Cold stare already moves strangely and hits hard.
can you imagine he was doing this with green mail? I mean, he has blue mail right now, which is nice, but
No, it would be 2 hits and out. Really nicely done by Tranq.
absolutely, that's a really solid play, and nothing. Ice Palace had nothing.
So now what?
I mean, Tranq can go dip pod, which would be a solid play. Mire is also an option, although wouldn't necessarily get far in Mire without the lamp. He won't be able to clear the boss from a logic perspective. But lamp could be there, or next progression could be there.
There are 2 items in Mire, and there are 2 items in Tower of Hera. I think Tranq might wind up doing Tower of Hera.
No, he's stocking up on bottles. He might be heading over to Mire.
Well, let's see. Oh, that he is. Oh, boy.
This, I mean, gutsy play, absolutely. Ice Palace was gutsy and is able to pull that off. We'll see if this pays off for him.
Vitreous is... With his current setup, it's almost impossible.
Oh, we have Ether on Mire, and do we get a bird toss? Is Trent going to do a bird toss?
I do want to mention that beating this dungeon is not in logic. There are a whole bunch of dark rooms. Bird toss!
Yes!
And no fire source, by the way.
You're right. That will make this particularly difficult.
Yeah, I think you're better off dipping into pod than doing out of logic Mire this early. Not pod.
Well, I mean, he'll...
Well, for Tranq, dipping in the pod and then dipping into Hera. I'm wondering what Makinx will do next. I think he's going to dip into Hera.
We shall see. I mean, at this point in time, I mean, these runners were given so many items in such a quick succession there in that mini Moldorm cave. They're really running out at this point. Wow!
Oh, wow! That's evil.
This is horrible. 2 items. We'll see if he finds the other item here in Misery Mire, but that's something there.
Yes, and the dark rooms. So this dungeon is now in logic.
Makinx on his cold stare fight, working through it.
That's wrong. At the lamps there, that's just wrong.
It is absolutely wrong. I don't disagree with you, but it's hilarious. This is why we play Rando, I think, everyone, is because anything like this can be crazy and absolutely happen.
We were talking about this movie being an easier fast seed earlier, and then all of a sudden... it's
Nope.
still kind of fast, but it's not easy.
Makinx going somewhere else.
Where is he going?
Might be checking Jeremiah? He did avoid that earlier.
Trying to do this the slowest way possible. But he gets it. So realizing he's going to have to save and quit now.
All right, so we'll see which play. I mean, Lamp is absolutely nice, and I hope that points Tranq back towards Pod.
The big key.
Meanwhile, Makinx is going to be turning in Jeremiah. We'll see if this plays out for him.
Only one blue potion. Well, he has a blue potion and a red potion. He rebought, right?
That's right. He's not really going to worry too much about magic at this point. Makinx just getting a whole lot of gratitude there from the Smiths. Now, after this play, it'll be interesting. He's still only found one item and a key, so the last item is on Vitreous.
Oh boy.
What do you do? Tranq's going for it. The set that Tranq has on him right now, this is going to be the least fun boss, I think, in the game. Fighter, Sword, Hammer, Vitreous.
Only one bomb as well, yeah. Makinx, meanwhile, checked out Gary's lunchbox.
Yeah, Makinx, I think, is desperately trying to avoid going into Mire at this point in time, and he's already left Death Mountain once, so he knows if something is in Tower of Hera, then he has already wasted time skipping that one once. And Tempered Sword. Oh, this is interesting. Although not interesting, because he can't do it. I thought he was heading over to Swamp, but cannot do that. All right, here's Tranq in the worst fight in the game.
This will take some excellence of execution here.
Makinx finding red mail, or in his case, purple mail, on the pyramid, so no progression there.
Always helpful, though. Oh boy, Tranq taking a ton of damage.
That's his last potion, so he's gonna stick to the safety that is spin strats.
I believe he has one more. Unless he used all three before when I wasn't looking.
Oh, that was just rude. That lightning strike went to the side of the room. Makinx checking catfish. This might have something.
It has the opposite of something.
I mean, something.
This is his last potion.
Okay. Oh, did you see that? Silver arrows were on the desert ledge.
Ooh. I've forgotten about a Guinness cave.
Oh, I will feel horrible if something is here.
Well, Tranq's trying.
He absolutely is. He's doing a good job. He's kind of got a good rhythm on these eyeballs right now. It's just a matter of when they'll actually die.
This is very slow going.
I don't think there is a greater variance in how good and how bad a boss fight can go than Vitreous. If you're in Tranq's position with Fighter Sword, right, this is kind of the best option you have. Maybe bomb strats, but it's still slow going no matter what.
You have Silver Arrow, you're done in 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, just the variance is crazy.
Might get to the eyeball. Oh! Still at full health. And Makinx is going to dive into the Misery Mire as well. A little more kitted out. Red Sword. And mail. Alright, Tranq. Oh, he's giving him a run around.
He's trying to use the hammer to be able to do more damage to him and keep knocking him back down so he doesn't have to keep running around. He's doing what he can. This is still a rough fight. Tranq is doing amazing, though.
2 hits from this guy and he's dead. He gets it done!
Very nice fight, Tranq, and you were rewarded with a cape.
That would have been nice a second ago.
So, still no progression. Tranq absolutely with tons of patience going through that. He had to use both potions that he picked up. Fighter Sword and Hammer Vitreous is one of the more difficult fights in the game. Well done, Tranq, there. Makinx is going to have a little bit easier of a fight, though, so he'll get even more of a time advantage at this point in time.
He's going to go get his hook shot, which means he'll go get all the stuff from Death Mountain. Makinx is in the lead.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say at this point in time. Tranq, though, if our progression really is up in Death Mountain on, for example, Tower of Hera, then Tranq will be able to make up a little bit of time because he won't have to climb Death Mountain twice.
Right, he goes in.
Provided he goes in. I mean, he may not. He may dip out and go elsewhere.
While they're going over each other's spots, I want to remind you guys to follow the runners. It'll be twitch.tv/Makinx81 and twitch.tv/Tranq. Tranq with the hook shot heading on up Death Mountain.
Yep, it's where we know he needs to go. Well, we know he should be going at this point. We'll be rewarded with a Master Sword and the Ice Rod at this point in time. The other option, of course, Tranq could make a dip into Turtle Rock, which could happen.
Might not be able to get too far.
Nope, it might be Firelocked if the first treasure chest doesn't have a key, much like Pod. Tranq finding that Master Sword, maybe cursing himself a little bit for not checking Pod earlier, but he's on a good pace right now.
You know, I don't think the mirror is required to beat the seed. Unless it's guarding an actually required item, of course.
Yeah, it may not. That's always the danger there with Swamp Palace. And we're seeing a bit of a route divergence. Tranq is going to go over here and check out Hera before doing the Spiral Cave.
Well, one of the items is a heart container, so that's not much help. You know what? Makinx was up here. He didn't have the lamp. So maybe you get Firelocked.
He might have been thinking he could have been Firelocked, and he's not.
Not so much.
I mean, that might have been his thought process, and I think it's a logical thing to take into consideration before you do the dip. So it's possible.
You can see. So here's the contrast. You can see the difference in this fight. If you're doing a fire sword and doing it with a comfort sword.
Yeah, Makinx making quick work of these Viddy eyeballs. Itty bitty Viddy balls.
And the second item is a boomerang, so it is not Tower of Hera.
And he's going to be climbing all the way back down at this point in time. Just so he can do everything that he wants to do. All right, so Makinx now wondering where he might go.
That's he's going up to Hera.
Let's see. I mean, we can't get any further in Skull Woods because we don't have the Fire Rod. We've already cleared out everything else. Is Turtle Rock really the only play we have?
Turtle Rock is the play right now, yeah.
That's a little bit disgusting.
But Makinx is going to check out Hera first. Tranq just waving at the shopkeeper.
Figures out, oh yeah, I'll buy some bombs. I don't have any bombs. Didn't quite get that moving block glitch with the hook shot, so he's going to take a little bit longer to get up here, unfortunately. Here's going to be the unfortunate part, is that Tranq did all of this in the Dark World. If I were him, maybe I would have opened up Turtle Rock and, you know, from that particular portal, then jump down to go over and do all this. Now he's going to have to save and quit, go back into the Light World, then climb Death Mountain again. And Makinx, now realizing he has both the items, he doesn't really have to keep on going any further.
Oh, Tranq gets 2 Turtle Rock and realizes that he has no mirror. He has to back out.
Yep, and here's the second climb I was just talking about. This is going to be unfortunate for Tranq.
We're now pretty much neck and neck.
I mean, Makinx has checked some of the other etc. overworld locations, things like Purple Chest and Jeremiah, but yeah, we're right neck and neck at this point in time. So what progression do you think we're going to find? Are we going to get Fire Rod? Are we going to get Mirror? Are we going to get Bow? What's the call?
I think we're going to get Fire Rod here. Mirror is the one you actually probably don't want to see.
Yeah, because Mirror unlocks Swamp Palace, so that might be something that you're hoping not to see. We'll see if it's Fire Rod lock, though. Makinx, first one in.
Nope.
Chat with the trolley suggestions saying a book that leads to Mirror in a Desert Palace. You guys.
On Ether.
Oh, it could be that too.
What's going to be evil is if they keep giving you keys until the point where you have to get your item on Laser Bridge.
I mean, and Laser Bridge is in logic at this point in time because of the cape. Normally you need at least an invincibility item or the mirror shield.
I would open this chest.
Oh, absolutely. The other possibility, which would really be kind of funny, is the keys necessary to get into Tranq is back in that, Fire Rod room that you don't have access to yet. But the Fire Rod is in here somewhere. Tranq left.
Yeah, Tranq did not do it. He's going to check his miscellaneous zones, so Makinx is going to take a lead. Can't do Mimic Cave.
Nope, but he can at least get this big key treasure chest. Do you wonder if he started going that direction and then got nervous that he was making the wrong call, so he backed out?
Well, the powder. Nice safety item.
Particularly in Turtle Rock with all the anti-fairies there are here.
Well, this is either our progression or a key. It's a bow!
What? Let's put this in the back where you could possibly not get it. My goodness.
No, you couldn't soft lock yourself there. At least.
This is true. So we're looking at Tranq getting ready to do his save and quit. Makinx is going to go right into pod, though.
Yeah, that's what you do with the bow at this point. I don't think there's really any other option.
No, I was thinking possibly Eastern, then I realized it was the pendant, and I think we already got 2 out of the 3, so it'd be a long dip for small chance.
Yeah, and also if you do want to do Eastern, you can do Pod first. Well, no, there's no mirror, but you can hope to get a mirror. There's still 4 items floating around in here. This is a pretty big lead for Makinx, considering what Tranq is doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly understand the logic of what Tranq was doing, but you know, I think this is a lesson learned that once you commit to doing something, you have to full commit. If you back out halfway, it'll bite you in the butt later.
So we're just a fire rod away from go mode, right?
No, Desert Palace. We still don't have access to the Palace.
Or I mean, a book and a mirror and a fire rod.
Well, book or mirror at this point in time, and I think I do not want to see the mirror right now because that, while that unlocks Desert Palace for us, if we don't find anything there, that certainly unlocks all of Swamp Palace then for us as well.
Or if you see the mirror, you want to see the fire rod too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would want to see the fire rod first, all things said. Tranq is going to be picking up his tempered sword, so he'll be happier about that? Yeah, the mirror at this point in time, if you think of all the overworld locations that the mirror locks out, we have the South Grove Ledge, we have the Graveyard Ledge, we have Mimic Cave, we have all of Swamp Palace. Absolutely, I think if you're looking around, you want to find Fire Rod before the mirror. You may not find the mirror, it may not be required at all. I mean, you might get the book and be happy.
You know what's not impossible? The fire rod being on the pedestal.
Oh, that's part of the dream. I mean, it would be one of the worst things I think you can do to one of the runners, but at this point, Eastern Palace, Tower of Hera. If you find the mirror, that certainly opens up that possibility. So I think you're hoping even further for the mirror simply for that reason.
There's your big key. And a bomb upgrade. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness, the dream is alive. I mean, it's the last thing Makinx wanted to see. It's absolutely, I think, what chat wanted to see.
This is some seed.
I mean, having the hook shot in pod as the one treasure chest in kind of the bottleneck location, and that was after Tranq had already done both Ice Palace and Misery Mire with a fighter sword. Bo in the, in that roller bar room. Oh my gosh. I can say one positive thing about this seed so far, though.
What's that?
Neither of us have to race it.
Yep. That's a very positive thing about this seed.
So Tranq's doing the only thing he really can at this point in time. Meanwhile, Makinx on his way back to Helmasaur King.
Helmasaur King shouldn't pose too much of a challenge.
Oh, and those chain chomps hurt. Absolutely.
And they're not a good time. You do desert now, right? You don't even venture into Swamp Palace. You absolutely have to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do desert right now, hoping beyond all hope that you find the fire rod as you go.
You will get silver arrows at least.
Yeah, silvers will help with Desert Palace clearing. I mean, it could help. Okay, the question is, if you don't find Fire Rod in Desert Palace, I mean, we already cleared out Skullwoods, so you go ahead and get that crystal?
Well, there's no... If you don't find fire on Desert Palace, you definitely don't get that crystal.
Oh, I mean, right. There.
If you find fire on Desert Palace, obviously you finish Desert Palace, you finish Skullwoods, you go up and finish Tranq, and you go to
Yeah,
the
you're
end
done
tower
at
and
that
go home.
point. Yeah.
If you don't find Fire Rod, you have to go to Swamp Palace, and you have to be treating it like you're gonna get every item. Nice silver arrows. I believe... No, he did not go in here yet. No, there's no way he could have.
Nope. So we're going to be looking for, I think, just 2 items here in Desert. Tranq with some frustration slashes, thinking, no,
It
no,
happened. Yep.
oh no. And
No.
Tranq just
He
saved and
saved
quit.
Quit out.
Oh no, Tranq.
Oh boy.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why when you can, if you happen to know that particular magic bat glitch, you do the magic bat glitch. Oh, this is so bad for Tranq.
That I hate calling races early, but I don't see how Tranq can come back at this point.
It was so close there when they were both going up there to Turtle Rock, too. It was, I mean, less than a half dungeon at any rate. They were neck and neck. Then he avoided T-Rock once, and then he went up there and thought, I mean, it was a risk. I'm sure he already felt behind, so he thought, I'm not going to get that last treasure chest. This is where I'm supposed to go, because it's a fetch quest. Oh my goodness. Poor Tranq. Yeah, we're talking double-digit gain and fall lead at this point in time for Makinx.
I don't think I've ever seen a double-digit gam fall.
I don't know if I have either.
With silver arrows, that's going to be pretty hard. Really nicely done on Lambos.
And no fire rod. Uh-oh.
Here we go into Swamp Palace. Where is Tranq going? Is he gonna go check out, like, entrance and catfish, I guess?
Possibly.
I can't believe he didn't check Checkerboard Cave.
Well, this is the first time we have the mirror, so...
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that's true. A lot of mirror zones to check for Swamp Palace, so yeah. We have the North Point of Sanctuary, the Norfolk Sanctuary. We have the not Norfolk Sanctuary, Norfolk Graveyard. Have South Grove. We have Bombos. Well, there's no books, and we don't have Bombos.
Where's Makinx going in the meantime?
He's gonna go check out South Grove and the Graveyard Lodge.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he's doing everything he can to avoid dipping into Swamp Palace right now.
That's correct. Mimic Cave will be the last place you check. Nope, we already got King's Tomb early on.
Yeah, I think at this point you full clear Swamp Palace, turn in the Green Pendant to Sahasrara before you dip into Turtle Rock again.
Just a heart container at this point with red mail, you don't need it.
And remember, that pedestal is still out there.
Alright, Makinx gonna head into Swamp. So you go through Swamp, you get every item, the fire rod's not there. Do you then say this is a pedestal seed and do the other dungeons, or do you try to make the big climb up to Mimic Cave?
That, I mean, I think it comes down to a couple things. One, if I happen to pull the book instead of the the fire rod at any point, I'm going to go check it regardless.
Oh, sure.
If not, ew. I think at that point I would go ahead and check. I would gamble pedestal at this point in time.
I wouldn't. It is equally likely that it will be on Mimic Cave and the pedestal. The Mimic Cave is much faster than doing those two other dungeons. If it's not on Mimic Cave, hey, you have the mirror. Walk out of mirror back to the start. Walk out of Mimic Cave. Go do Hera.
Tranq trying to figure out where is he going to go at this point in time.
I think Tranq is a little lost. Yeah, I don't think he realizes that he can proceed into through Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's really easy to think that you didn't have any keys and forget that that's a big key door and not a regular key door that he has to pass through.
One of those lumberjacks likes peanut butter.
Which one do you think it is?
The right one, because the left one said it. But the right one says one of us likes jelly. Hey, if you're ever bored one day, go download a seed of this and just play it casually and talk to everybody.
Yeah, I think one of the updates recently was making sure all of the Japanese was eliminated so we can go ahead and have everyone say something snarky to you.
I think no matter what, if you don't get Fire Rod in the early going here, you definitely finish this dungeon. Even if you get all 6 items early.
Oh yeah, because then you have, the green pendant as well.
Tranq is now rechecking his steps. Makinx is gonna skip the left side.
When you're one item away from go mode, that's a gutsy call, I think. I mean, if he finds it in the back part, I think he's fine, but he'll re-dip afterwards.
I don't think one's necessarily much faster than the other. Tranq is now looking, I'm guessing looking over his tracker and his map. Got the big key. There it is!
There is the fire rod.
Completed. He is in full-on go mode. Yeah. Clean up Skull Woods, finish off Turtle Rock, finish off Gans Tower.
And Tranq, really confused at this point in time. Unfortunately, we know what he did, and that was just bad news there.
I might be putting it together now.
He does look to be heading that way, which is good news. Makinx, meanwhile, on his way through Skull Woods.
This is the way back up to Turtle Rock, so this is okay. Not the fastest way, but it's a way.
I think part of him is contemplating his life choices at this point in time. What am I doing with myself?
Going in.
Mothula is giving Makinx a bit of a hard time, just sticking up into that corner.
So short of a disaster, and I mean like Makinx despawns Gan's tower level of catastrophe, this is Makinx's race to lose.
It's unfortunate, and I think every single one of us in the randomizer community has been in Tranq's shoes at one point or another, where we just forget something, and it comes down to nothing more than a brain fart. All right, here's Tranq with the one treasure chest that he can see now.
I think you're going to see some bombs.
Bombs, maybe a bombos, at least one slash. Oh yeah, and he can't mirror out. So Tranq on his way over to the Palace of Darkness, which is where we know he needs to go at this point in time. Makinx on his way over to Turtle Rock to finish it off.
Alright, we're going to do the room that we couldn't do before. That will guarantee to have at least one key.
It'd be nice if it had both, so he could even skip the laser bridge.
Oh, such luck.
Guy can dream, can he? So Makinx making his way through Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Tranq is going to be finding his mirror eventually here in Palace of Darkness. Palace of Darkness had quite a bit of value items, just required that double dip, unfortunately.
Yep. Flaffykins, who, by the way, is our tracker, brings up a good point. If you want to get good at remembering where all the chest locations are, play some Key Sanity, You will learn where every single one is very quickly.
That's largely because you'll probably have to pick up everyone to get through the game.
Oh yeah.
It is absolutely a very good way of doing it. The other way I've seen is people loading up just the vanilla game and 100% completing it.
I've also heard of randomizers where you put the mirror in Ganon's tower.
Ew.
Well, no, because it teaches you how to route.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's one way to do it, but ew, still.
The mirror and the flute.
All right, so Tranq on his way up will be getting his mirror. Makinx, we are quickly approaching the laser bridge.
Oh, a little bit of trouble. Laser bridge, never the most pleasant thing in the world.
No, surprised he hasn't pulled his keep out quite yet.
Last chest, of course. There we go.
It wouldn't be a real Turtle Rock laser bridge if it wasn't the absolute last treasure chest, isn't it?
Chat's bringing up a pretty good point. The pod potion glitch would have skipped a lot of the problems here.
That is interesting, and that is considered a usable glitch at this point in time.
Nice hammer yum from Tranq.
Yeah, and he's going to get the big key through here, so, I mean, save a key?
With a little bit of ice out, we're going to play a little bit of NHL 94. Hey, do you know why he's called Tranq?
Other than 3 heads?
His mother named him that.
Oh, that's... Boo!
Alright, and that is the final crystal for Makinx, so you know what that means.
Absolutely. It is time for the big key guessing game. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to explain it, Mr. Ridley Dragon?
Absolutely. There are 22 chests in the basement of Palace of Darkness. One of them will contain the big key. If you put in a number between 1 and 22, that is the number of chests that you're guessing the big key will be in. If you have cheered over 250 bits or have subscribed to any of these Speed Gaming channels, you are the closest, you will enter into our leaderboard. We will close it out the second he enters the basement.
What's going to be your guess for that one, Mr. Ridley
I already
Dragon,
typed
sir?
in 7.
Oh, see, I'm right on your tail. I'm on 8 myself. All right, everyone's getting their guesses in, and Makinx has entered Ganon's tower.
2 keys.
That's actually really nice.
Not closest, not going over, just closest. This is not The Price is Right.
All right, so getting ready to do... Let's see, we've done 2 so far.
That's all we've done. This is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, he's gonna go get his key, and if it's on Bob's torch, I'm gonna win.
All right, and here we go. He picked up the key and is on his way down, so let's check on Bob's torch.
No, but it is the Cane of Berna, which he will skip as he has the magic cape. That eliminates me.
Bob's torch named as such because if you get the item on that, the glitched out anti-fairy on the top floor of Ganon's Tower won't glitch out, so we need to keep that item there.
Here's your chest. Nope.
And 11 so far. Nothing yet. Meanwhile, Tranq goes ahead. He has his mirror. He cleared out Palace of Darkness, so he will be on his way, I imagine, over to Desert Palace.
This will be chest number 13. And there it is! Chest number 13. Congratulations, Crazy HHS 33.
I mean, of course the seed would have number 13. The unlucky number. Of course it would.
Oh, wait, in case you're wondering, the tiebreaker is who makes the closest guess first.
All right, Makinx is on his way up through the gauntlet at 142. Given how far this seed has really driven these runners all the way around, we're looking at a sub 2 hour seed for Makinx. He's going to be doing fine.
Yeah, not bad.
While Makinx is climbing this gauntlet here and Tranq is going through Desert Palace, let's remind everyone that there's still lots more speed gaming randomizer action as we're going on. What's already started over on ALTTP Randomizer, we have El Magus versus the Dragon Feeny. That's a race that I'm going to tune into immediately after. I'm a big fan of both of those runners. We also have at 3 o'clock Eastern, so starting here in a little over an hour, we have Dr. Bobtastic versus Trojan Dude on ALTTP Randomizer 2. At 5 o'clock, we have tons of races. We have Chelsea Lynn versus Proa 007 on ALTTP Randomizer. We have the OK Guy versus Patty at 5 o'clock on Speed Gaming. We have on Speed Gaming 4 at 6 o'clock, Space Cat Universe versus Janice Zeal. And just tons more races going on tonight. Last night of round 1, if we get all of these races done tonight, we may be able to see the round 2 matchups tonight, but likely tomorrow morning. It all depends on how quickly we can get everything done.
Makinx making pretty short work of the gauntlet and land one too. Heading on up through the Torch World. 4 keys, no need to kill either one of these guys.
Tranq still, he got his items. He's following kind of the logical progression at this point in time. I do not blame him for double checking everything. We know where he's got to go.
The dash strats for Boulder 2. Skipping the last chest, I don't blame him.
All right, now we get to see how well Makinx does on these Aghanim strats. See if he's got a friendly Aghanim or a very unfriendly one. Nice double there by Makinx.
Really well done, Aga 2. I think that was 222, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 222, and it was not an easy setup for any of those. That's very well done by Makinx.
It's one of those dream ones. You always want to get 222 if you can, but it's not usually possible. Yeah, giving us some health advice.
I mean, I don't know if that's great health advice, but we'll go with it. Makinx using cape strats, trying to get through this phase 2 as quickly as possible.
I think he has a blue potion, so.
Yeah, Makinx in very good shape for this Ganon fight.
Yeah, and having a little bit of fun with his teleporting.
I mean, fun for him, maybe. I would imagine Makinx is a little bit annoyed, and with as trolly as this seed is, he might be a little worried that he hasn't seen a completion by Tranq yet.
He's got to feel pretty good about what he's done. It's hasn't really made any misplays. Probably feels really good right now.
Yep, GG Makinx with the win.
And that will do it. Yep. Is officially in. 147.50 by his timer.
GG Makinx with the solid win.
Looks like Tranq's gonna finish up.
We'll see if we can't get Makinx over here for a quick interview afterwards. But GG Makinx. Tranq will shortly find his Fire Rod and will be in go mode. This race, I mean, other than those Turtle Rock plays by Tranq, was much closer than it appears in this time.
And joining us now for a post-game interview is our winner, Makinx.
Hey there.
So let's talk about this seed. What are your initial thoughts going into it before we start peppering you with questions?
Whew, I don't know. I was kind of a weird seed, I guess. I was fire source locked for a long time. So I was looking for a fire source all over the place, except for in Mire. And, well, yeah, that fire rod turned out to be all the way in Swamp Palace, so you had to you had to double dip TR to get there.
Yeah, there were two kind of choke points we found throughout this match. That early mini Moldorm cave just kind of opened the world up to everyone, but
Yeah.
then you had the hook shot in Pod, and then of course you had that bow in Turtle Rock, and those two kind of choke points really made the difference between you and Tranq there.
Yeah, I can imagine that if he didn't dip in pod for a long time, yeah, then he was basically full clearing the seed. That was a really weird string of items.
Yeah, poor Tranq. He didn't do that quite as early as you did. He went Ice Palace and Misery Mire with Fighter Sword cleared both of them.
Ooh, wow.
So yeah, once he finally got his hook shot, he made up some time and was able to go through. But then and you guys really entered Turtle Rock about the same time. I think you had a 2-screen lead or so even after it was all said and done.
Oh, really?
He just dipped out of Turtle Rock early.
So he didn't get the bow out of Turtle Rock.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Not right away, at
that's
least.
well. That locks up the seed again. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he left and then did some of the other overworld cleanup that you did, things like Jeremiah and the purple chest and everything else.
I think I did a full clear of the overworld. Didn't leave anything. Lots of money on the overworld, mostly.
Yeah, it was kind of a rich seed after it's all done.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of useless cash.
So was there at any point in time that you felt like you were ahead or behind at this point?
Well, when I found the lamp in Mire, yeah, and I thought that was basically what I've been looking for all that time. I felt kind of behind because I really did Mire late because I wanted to find a fire source before going in there. So I figured if Tranq did that earlier than me, he had quite a lead. And I was really gambling on nothing being in Eastern Palace. Also, the fire rod. When I was just looking for the fire rod, I was just still avoiding Eastern Palace, just going in Swamp instead. So I felt kind of uncomfortable going in Swamp looking for just the fire rod. But yeah, it turned out to be the good choice. It's just lucky, I guess.
I mean, it was definitely a good choice. We were kind of thinking at that point in time, it could be there. Also, the way everything played out, it could have been Fire Rod on the pedestal, which would have been just amazing and how horrible it would be, but kind of in line with everything in this seed has given you.
I was thinking I had pedestal on my mind as well, yeah. So I was definitely going to beat Argus if I didn't find the fire rod anywhere, and then head straight for Eastern. But I was just gambling on Swamp first, and it just worked out for me. And of course, that pod gamble, that also worked out. It was kind of fortunate for me.
The pod gamble really, I think, played. The Turtle Rock completing that was crazy in and of itself. The pod gamble, though, going into it pretty early, getting the hook shot and being able to do Fighter Sword or Master Sword and even Tempered Sword, Misery Mire and Ice Palace really put a little bit of distance there between you and Tranq, considering he had done Fighter Sword, both of those.
Yeah, those are horrible with the Fighter Sword. I really didn't want to do that. I was quite happy to find those swords. Just made life a lot easier for me. But yeah, kind of a weird seed.
Weird is one way to put it. I would say cruel.
Yeah, it's cruel in a way, yeah. To have everything locked behind that pod hook shot.
So the question becomes, how long until after the credits roll will it take for you to delete this seed from your hard drive, banishing it into the nether forever?
Well, it's on a flash card in my Super Nintendo right now, so it's probably going to be on there for a while. but I'm not ever going to play it anymore.
In the meantime, by the way, Tranq finishing up Skull Woods, heading on over to finish up Turtle Rock, and then go get his tower finish.
Well, I think the rough part for Tranq really was, I mean, he did 2 dips into, like he bypassed Turtle Rock right when you were going up there. Then he came back later, dipped Turtle Rock, found the powder, left again because he thought that was his breadcrumb.
Yeah, I fake powdered. I had a lot of trouble with that, by the way. I fake powdered, so I knew that wasn't going to do anything for me. And also, I already decided to just go do Turtle Rock for as far as I could. That's just one more chesty you had to open for the bow.
Yeah, there may or may not have been some yelling at the TV.
Probably, yeah.
So GG, moving on to 1-0. Have you taken a list of? There's a lot of possible opponents, 255 of them. What are your thoughts on just the tournament as a whole, or this particular mode, or anything?
Oh, I really like this mode, and I also like this tournament is so huge. 512 entrants. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm really digging it.
There's gonna be 256 matches every week.
Yeah, it's insane. I've been watching a lot, so it's fun. It's great, and I'm enjoying still being 1-0 really, and being into there.
All right. Any other last-minute thoughts as we're getting ready? I mean, we're not wrapping up per se, but anything else you wanted to talk about? We have a little bit of time to burn here.
No, not really. I'm just gonna let you guys finish commentating on Tranq.
Tranq making his way through Turtle Rock right now. He just got the fire rod room done, so he will be heading on over. Unfortunately, the small key is on the last freaking chest in this place.
Because, I mean, what else could this seed possibly do to you? That was a rhetorical question. It could have been a whole lot worse. And one last time, GG to Makinx, and of course to Tranq. Another shout out to both of these runners. If you liked what you saw from these guys, go ahead, give them a follow here on Twitch. Easiest way to support the runners. Also, give us a follow here at the Speed Gaming network of channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 6, and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. It's the easiest way to support us here at Speed Gaming. Thank you guys so much for your support.
All right, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Thanks for commentating.
Thank you so much, Makinx, and GG once again.
Thanks. See ya.
All right, so Tranq continuing on through Turtle Rock. Right now, he's in the dark room. And should have no problem getting through at this point with his current gear. Shouldn't be too much of an issue killing Tranq or the Gans Tower again.
And gets the last key. Does laser bridge almost completely unharmed. That was actually a very impressive laser bridge. And Tranq moves on, getting ready for his Tranq fight.
know why he's called Trinex?
I don't know. Why is he called Trinex?
Because he has 3 necks.
You have like 5 different answers for that, don't you?
Pretty much just a 2, actually.
All right. Tranq getting ready for his final phase. A little bit cleaner. No ice on the floor. And Tranq beats down Trinex, will be on his way over to Ganon's Tower.
Or let's see if he goes left side first, because that's the way it leads to the big key. And he goes right first, so we're going to take a little bit of time here.
Tranq slowly working his way through.
Yep, still the same same route that Makinx took. Alright, big key. He's gonna start climbing.
The ever slow climb up Ganon's tower. Tranq's well equipped for it though. Plenty of arrows, red mail, no riot shield, but I don't think he's terribly worried about that.
Stay tuned to this channel. Immediately following this, we're gonna have a Rockman 2 race.
That's exciting.
Yep.
And Tranq getting ready to start his Landmo 2 fight. A little bit more difficult of a fight. That wonderful fireball spit thing just always seems to fire right at the worst possible time.
That 2 cycle, not bad.
Right, Tranq's working his way up, using wonderful Cane of Samaria strats. I'll be honest, I did not know that the Cane of Samaria could be that useful. Climbing this when I was a kid, playing this for the first time. Makinx is going to be entertaining us as well, playing Super Adventure Island, because why not?
Sure. Alright, real close to... Oh, it takes a fall.
Trolldorm's got to get his at least once, doesn't he? And down goes wonderful Muldorm, and we get to see the final treasure chest was just a big 20.
Meanwhile, over on Makinx's side, he's about halfway through the first stage of Adventure Round 3, getting a pineapple and a kiwi. Oh, he takes a fall.
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't know if I've ever actually played this game.
I had no idea. Oh, he's on round 1 too, so we got past the first stage. Just 1 for that one.
Looks like just another one there. Yeah, this Aghanim fight is really bad positions for Aghanim. I mean, great if you're the actual boss, but...
Not bad. It's a 4 cycle, I believe.
That's actually quite good, actually. And Tranq defeats Aga and is on to Ganon. This should be a relatively quick fight here. Is he collecting the Dragon Balls?
I don't think that's involved in Adventure Island. Tranq on to phase 3 again. That'd be fun with teleporting.
Yep, very, very nice phase 2 fight. On to phase 3, and I imagine he'll be done here pretty quickly.
Guess torch grills? Nice double.
Very good double. And he gets the torch, and there it is.
Alright, that will do it for Tranq, and that will do it for us. We have a Rockman 2 game coming on right at the second, so I want to remind everybody to follow the runners. That would be Tranq and Makinx. Also to follow our tracker. That'd be Flaffy, twitch.tv/Flaffykins. And also to follow the great, incredible Vitasia.
Oh my, you're too kind. Don't forget to follow Ridley Dragon as well. And while we're at it, Speed Gaming's 1 through 6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4, all of the Speed Gaming networks. Stay tuned here for Rockman 2.
Right. Thank you.